And now we shift our focus to key business economic issues of the day with Dr. Byoung-joo, head of KL&P Consulting and our regular commentator on this program. Good to have you with us, Dr. Kim.
Good afternoon.
Hope you had a nice weekend.
Oh, yeah, I did. Hope
If there
the same
was
to
one
you as well. Right.
Well, the first question is, we have news about changing dynamics of the domestic automobile market. Things have certainly changed. Young people, not really enthusiastic or eager about buying cars as they used to a decade ago, maybe.
Right,
So does this mean the Korean auto market is in the long-term decline?
Actually, that question about the long-term trend itself is what automakers are having in their minds and trying to figure out what the real trend here is indeed. Because indeed, if this means anything about the preference shift, this means a lot about their future business indeed. And there are two different possibilities here. One is, as you said, preference shift or long-term trend, or maybe this is a reaction to short-term economic reality. As you can see on the screen right here, this is exactly what we are talking about. If those people in their 20s, as if we compare the automobile sales during the first 3 quarters this year as compared to last year, same period, we see as much as minus 7.8% drop in the age group of those people of 20s. And those people in their 30s among Koreans here, minus 4.3% drop as compared to last year. Of course, there is an issue here. This is a one-year trend, so it may actually reverse next year, whatever. This is a rather short-term trend. But then again, because this is a sensitive issue, if we assume that this younger age group right now moves on through the time and becomes older age group who tend to spend a lot more in terms of buying more expensive cars, and whether they will indeed by the time they reach their 50s actually show, relatively speaking, a little bit of robust consumption behavior that you see on the screen or not is a big question. So many eyes are closely watching, and some people are saying, well, this has a lot to do with the current situation of the young people who have difficulty finding the jobs that they like and landing on permanent jobs, that the permanent career track that they've been seeking. So they're kind of postponing everything, including some of the graduate students who are graduating from the college. They're postponing their graduation here, of course, big time. And so, why not? Together with graduation, they may be postponing their, automobile purchase as well. So, but then again, we don't have a definite answer here, but definitely very interesting trend.
It's sad that the young people aren't being able to enjoy being young the way they should. Well, that's a story for another day. Right now, the market share for the young car buyers in Korea, smaller as it may be getting these days, what are the age group that has the largest market among them? Actually,
that's a very important question, because indeed, when asked that question, the industry experts are saying actually it is those people in their 30s who constitute the largest group here. As you can see here, those people in their 30s, they last year accounted for over 23% among all age groups. Of course, the breakdown could differ here, but if you break down by age of 10, like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and older, actually those people in their 30s, because that's the age where you often hear in Korea, the majority of Koreans settle down, start a family, having babies, and buying your first cars and so on. So indeed, those people in their 30s is the biggest in terms of the age group among the automobile purchasing. And the worrying trend, even though the number seems to be a little bit small here, but because of the number that you saw previously, right before this one, their share has shrunk by about 1%. From last year. And once again, the concern is whether this trend will continue on or not. And some of our overseas viewers may be interested in knowing that those people in their 20s in Korea constitute about 10% of the automobile purchasing as well. So that's another important number. So with this number in mind, of course, those people in the car industry, they are focusing their advertisements and all that in their 30s. But then again, at the same time, even though this means the biggest age group, then again, per vehicle value, however, those people in their 40s, 50s tend to buy more expensive cars, which tend to offer greater profits to the automakers. So they can't really totally go along with this age breakdown for sure.
Okay, when fewer younger people are buying cars, I guess it changes the kind of options that are up for grabs out there, the preferred choice. What are the alternative choices for transportation for those who, I guess, don't buy cars in Korea?
Right. Of course, those people, especially expat, visitors here in Korea, may actually think, well, this country has a great public transportation system, so maybe more younger people are opting for using public transportation. I'm sure that is the case in part. But this is, what you're looking at the screen right now, is a very interesting phenomenon. Indeed, I mean, the name itself may be kind of confusing or misleading. Corporate-owned cars. Actually, that includes rentals and leases as well. So in Korea, as this service industry grows, auto service industry grows, the rental and leasing deals are improving, meaning that it is further reducing the cost of retaining this vehicle through lease and rental contracts. So more people seem to be moving to that market segment and causing this kind of by age group drops that we have seen early on during our first part of this discussion here. So that's what everybody's noticing. This, the younger people buying fewer cars does not necessarily mean that there could be actually shrinking demand as a whole, but some people may be moving to the rentals and leasing business, and this could be of interest of even foreign investors who may be looking for opportunities for investing in Korea, maybe seeking opportunities for opening this kind of business of rentals and leases. And experts are saying the overall cost of these rentals and leases will continue to go down, even making it even more attractive down the road.
Okay, those are some of the facts that many of our foreign investors might be keeping a wide ear open for. What about passenger vehicle sales changing in Korea? What about sales of other kinds of cars here?
Yeah, that's interesting because at least if we compare the number last year and this year, within this 1 year period of time, we see slight reduction of passenger vehicle sales, as you can see on the screen here. But other cars, I mean, cargo here meaning most of what we industry call the commercial vehicles, trucks and other kinds of vehicles that are used for transporting things other than human beings. That sales, 7.5% growth seems to be a, relatively speaking, healthy growth right there. And special equipment vehicles, of course, the market share there is a little bit small, but then again, over 12% growth itself is quite interesting. What's most interesting is what they called here, KAMA statistics, Korea Automobile Manufacturers Association statistics, multi-passenger vehicle. That includes SUVs, like sports utility vehicles, and different kinds of like vans, for instance. And this seems to be a really interesting trend here. So more people are moving away from the option of owning passenger cars and switch to the option of buying SUVs, vans, and so on. So that's one point a lot of people are paying lots of attention to.
Okay, apparently more business owners or people who run their own small businesses tend to go with the SUVs to carry the loads sometimes, mixing business and pleasure and family together.
Absolutely.
Well, consumer interest in fuel types also, I heard, is changing. Diesel is apparently back.
Right, exactly. Diesel cars are having new days here in Korea these days. For instance, we remember an episode back only a few years ago, I think it was 2009, when Hyundai introduced Abante models with diesel engines, and then they quickly closed that option because it was not selling well. That was back in 2009. But now we hear this year Hyundai Abante models are doing well. They are selling as many as 15% of their Abante models with diesel engines, diesel fuel engines this year, meaning this is extremely good performance we're talking about. As you can see on the screen here, 19.4%. Like overall sales of increase here, while gasoline vehicles are going down here. Of course, this includes a lot of like cargo vehicles and all other stuff, but still very interesting trend. And then, as I said again, what big part of this, the passenger vehicles, especially subcompact models here in Korea, seems to be hitting quite big, including also imported passenger cars are quite, like passenger cars with diesel engines seem to be quite hot in this market.
Right, changing dynamics of Korean market. It's always a very difficult place for foreign investors to determine where they should go and when they should pull out. Well, thank you so much for providing us with some amazing insights here, Dr. Kim Byoung-joo, head of KL&P Consulting, and of course our favorite commentator here in Arirang News.
Thank you very much.